I'm Jim Ross. He's Matt Van Horn. And this is the 3 Mile Domination Podcast.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Hanging in there.
I hear you.
Another week to prepare for here, so.
Yep, another Sunday. I just got done taking the nieces over to see Despicable Me 2. Great movie. If any of you guys want to go see a family movie, it was absolutely hilarious. The adults will enjoy it as well.
I'm sure my kids will be, I guess they're dragging that because that one looks kind of cute, so I'm sure I'll be seeing it soon with my 3 kids.
Yeah, the little yellow minion things that run around and basically speak French are absolutely hilarious. So I very much enjoyed it. So anyways.
We're giving movie recommendations now, too, so you can get everything here.
Yes, exactly. We talk about a little bit of everything on this show.
Anyway, for this podcast, I wanted to talk about, sales presentation on the phone. Obviously, that's one of the most critical aspects of running a storage unit is you spend all that money for your website and all the money for marketing, and actually if that phone rings, you want to make the sale. We track our conversions and all that, and it kills me when I see those calls coming in and not leading to sales. And so it's not that hard to really get that boost on closing the sale here. It's just paying attention on your phone and just kind of having a methodology about it, and not just, I shouldn't say just not winging it. You want to have a purpose for the call, beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, and I really agree with you on that. I think probably the most successful companies, and I don't care whether it's in storage or whatever other industry that you think of, there's procedures, there's ways of going about doing things that have been tried and true tested, and that's the way you do them. Anytime you deviate, it really just, it doesn't help the process.
Oh, yeah, yep. And quick flashback to when we talked about the importance of, your call tracking. It's great just because when we have the calls recorded, you can listen to yourself again. Listen to your presentation. And if you have to do that a handful of times, your calls are going to just get so much better that much quicker. It doesn't take long to turn it around. I mean, you can go from terrible on the phones to being great just after a few times practicing. That's all it really is. It's just kind of going through the flow of it and just getting comfortable with. And I hate seeing script. I don't believe in scripts either. But just making sure you hit the right points during the phone call. So anyway, I guess let me tell you how this came about here. We've kind of recently restructured our script, and with this in mind, and it's really working out, very well. What I do, just because I'm a kind of storage nerd, when I got the time, I'll just call competition. I don't care where they're at. If it's in Utah or Florida or wherever. All those stuff, pull up Google Maps and call some people and just, again, if they do have a great presentation, still from the best. But that's few and far between. I always say it doesn't take very much to stand apart from the crowd. And if you got a pressure upper on your hands and you're calling a few facilities, you want to be the one that wow, just based off that phone call, I want to rent there. You might be a few bucks more. They can justify that value. Just a lot of this based on their sales presentation. And I'm amazed just how many places are flat out terrible. I mean, the average phone call, and we'll have to do this. We're make this a part of our podcast here. We're going to start featuring some really crappy phone calls and great phone calls. And again, a lot of it is just hearing how a great phone call should be. Implement that in your own process, and you'll be off. Again, it's just getting comfortable with it. But again, most of these calls are, I'll call in and hi, this is Jim. Just calling to get some rates and get some information on a unit. And they'll immediately say, what size do you need? You don't get a hi, how you do. We'll get into our sales scripts, but just want to tell you what crappy one sounds like, and basically they'll just say, what size do you need? They'll put it on me to come up with a size. So I'll make up some crap that I'm storing in the unit. They'll come back and say, oh, that 10 by 10 sounds about right. Price is $90. Dead silence. And then, oh, okay, do you have it available? Yeah, we got them available. Want to come on down? And they'll give me the address. And, okay, all right, sounds good. Okay, thanks. Click. I swear it's like 90% of the calls I make.
Well, I
So,
think really.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, well, when we talk about these phone things and sales presentations, part of the problem is just our industry in general. It's that we've not been a mature industry for that long. I think over the last, say, 30 years, we've gotten to the point now where there's institutional money, and we've got, 5 or 6 really big REITs now, and it's all Wall Street money, and things are becoming much more, corporate type based than it ever used to be. And we honestly in self-storage, we never thought about that. We kind of winged it for a very, very long time. And I don't mean, us, I mean just the industry in general. And I think there's 2 things that we have issues with when it comes to, sales presentations. Number one, we're really not training our managers to do sales. And I think I may have mentioned this last week, but we're just not. A lot of what we have, especially with independent operators, either we've come up with it ourselves, which may or may not be working, or a lot of us who are in operations independently, work for management companies, we all came from REITs. So a lot of the training that we have and are even instilled in us is just recycled telephone type stuff that we've picked up from the REITs and manipulated to our own, and whether it's good or not, we really don't know, but that's how we thought, that's how we were taught. And I think really when it comes to value, people are looking a lot more than for just a script. The second thing is that, sometimes our managers, I think because we're in the industry so much, we assume that our customers know as much as we do about storage. And when I say that, it sounds absurd, but when you're giving a sales presentation, sometimes you may leave out details that because you're in the industry every day, you don't talk about, but that the customer would have no idea what to ask about or how to ask.
Yeah, and now come up with the course of this like sample call here I want to go over. So again, let's just get right into it. We'll kind of break it down here. Of course, after you pick up the phone, first, this is what we say right when we first get on the phone call here. Thank you for calling ABC Storage, where we make storage easy. My name is Jim. Whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with? Simple, effective. We break it down for you real quick. Of course, you're saying the name of your storage facility. I can't tell you how many times I actually call places and they answer it hello. You're not very professional. So thank you for calling, name of your facility. We just recently added this part where we make storage easy. Put a slogan in there. Again, when I was calling all these facilities, I called one site. He stood out from the pack just that alone. They put a quick little slogan in there, and it stuck with me. It made an impression. And so I would say to whoever listen to this is if you can come up with a little catchy slogan, I don't care what it is, but just adding something simple like that, it just really makes you stand apart. So again, that's what ours is. We make self-storage easy. My name is Jim. Introduce yourself. Again, that very rarely happens. And then secondly, is you're asking who do I have the pleasure of speaking with. You're asking their name right up front. And so now they're kind of obligated to give you their name, which is very important because as we all know, the sweetest word in the English language is your own name. And when you can weave their name within the course of you talking about storage and the presentation, you're building that rapport. It's a 3 to 5 minute phone call. So the more you can put their name in there and just kind of get on that friendly terms, that much better you're going to be. And again, when they're looking for storage, they want to have somewhere they're comfortable with. And again, if you can kind of stand apart from everybody else, just that one sentence could make a big difference as doing that, just to begin the phone call with. So anyway, let's move on. So again, they're going to thank you for calling ABC Storage. Well, we make storage easy. My name is Jim. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? Of course, they'll give you their name. Let's just say Becky from this reason here. So, hello, Becky. How could I help you? And of course, the nice thing about storage, if they're calling you, they need storage. They're not calling for groceries.
Yeah, you're not going door to door to sell pots and pans. I mean, we actually literally have customers coming to us, and the only reason they're coming to us is because they need the product that we have. No one drives down, before I was in the self-storage industry, you could have asked me where all the storage facilities were, and I wouldn't know. I mean, obviously now in any market I'm in, I know where they all are. But most people don't know that, and this is typically right here is where, your managers who aren't trained will go, the train will go off the tracks. And all of a sudden it becomes dead silence, and you've got to try to help yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't take long, and it's a minute phone call, and thank you very much, and they hang up. So, Again, the process of this is that, again, how many phone calls do we get, honestly, for looking for storage each day? 3, 4, 5 on a good day?
Right.
Make those calls count. So have that in mind. In fact, we actually have I know we're getting off track, but it all dovetails nicely. We have a thing in front of our manager that says the lifetime value of the customer. And basically each phone call that is coming in, we look at that. This is a quick refresher of that. There's $1,500 on the other end of this line. Make those 3 to 5 minutes count. So it's just kind of getting that right frame of mind. So anyway, let's move on here. So again, hello Becky, how can I help you today? And of course they're going to say, something like, I'm looking for information on getting a storage unit, I need a price for a unit, whatever they say there. We come back with, great, I want to help you choose the right size unit so you're not paying for more space than you need. What are you storing? So right off the bat, you're looking out for their needs. We're not gouging them. You're trying to consult with them about what, to make sure they get the right size. So you're not paying for more money or more space than they really need. So right there, you're kind of building that rapport as far as you're looking out for them. And more importantly, you're asking, what are you storing? Again, I would say it's 95% of the calls I make, they always come back with, what size do you need? So you're putting it on the customer, you're going, 10 by 10 sounds about right. They don't know. They don't use storage. The only way they came up with that 10 by 10 size space is they called, the manager before you that told them they needed 10 by 10. But they weren't, I can tell you, they weren't, didn't have that rapport back and forth and making sure that was the right size.
Right.
If you say it like that, what are you storing? You're building that conversation with them. And again, I don't care what they say about they store out a 3-bedroom house or is a business moving, whatever. Once they start telling you what items are storing in there, for the unit, you get a better idea. So, for example, let's just say here, she says, I'm moving from a 3-bedroom house. I come back with, and again, last thing you want to do is come right back with the price. You want the price a little bit later on. You're here, you're building the value of what you're selling. So you want to kind of get a little specific. So it's like, Becky, once you become a customer with us, you will see that we have great security features such as code gate access, keeps track of people as they come onto the property and as they leave the property. Each person is given their own code, so we know when you have come onto the property and when you leave the property. Again, everybody has it. Everyone has a gate. Everyone has a code gate access. Everybody has the cameras. How many people are actually mentioning it on the phone? Just because it's a standard in the industry doesn't mean the customer knows that. So let them know that you have the cameras. Let them know you have a code gate access and the purpose it serves, tracking who's coming on and off the property. Think of the features that you have that you can mention on the phone, and you don't want to go through a whole laundry list. Take 2 or 3, highlight on those, and again, you'll be standing out apart from the crowd just from doing that again. So there's another piece of the puzzle. Just, talk about your features and benefits. So after you've done that, then you could say, for example, plus, I have a perfect solution for your storage needs. A 10 by 20 unit is great fit for a 3-bedroom house, and we currently have some available. And then that's enough. And then the customer will, come back, of course. Most of the time they're going to say, what's the price then? And at that point, I'm totally comfortable in quoting the price. You've already, started building some value. You've given the features and benefits of your site. So now, okay, you have some hanging out long enough. Now you can go into your price structure. So, current prices, let's say $150. However, we want everyone who calls in, to rent from the best. So if you have an email address, I can actually email you an exclusive coupon, and I'll break this down in a second here, but let me tell you exactly how we say it. Let me go back real quick. Our current price is $150. However, we want everyone who calls in to rent from the best. So if you have an email address, I'll email you an exclusive email coupon, the price of the unit, and the details on our move-in special. You simply show us that offer when you come in, and we can get you that great move-in special. A few things here we're trying to do. Of course, we're quoting the price. We're building value as far as if you have a coupon. And it can be, 10, 15% off packing supplies, for example. If you guys are doing a move-in special, of course, you can tell them about the move-in special here. If it's half off, first 2 months, dollar move-in special, whatever you're doing. Again, you got to remember these guys are, a lot of times they're calling around. So if you can give them that special there, and if you can give an email coupon that's exclusive offer, what this does as well is, of course, we have their contact information. You can do a follow-up after the phone call with quote of everything you just talked about. Nobody does that as far as, a follow-up that way. And we actually take it one step further, and our email is actually a video email. And I would tell everybody that would like to see a sample of that to go ahead and email us at info@3miledomination.com. I'll send you a sample of exactly what our video entails when a potential customer calls. I can tell you, when we send that video off, and it makes a huge impression just from doing that, not follow-up. And that's going to boost your conversions tremendously. And again, you quote in the price, you give them a coupon they can print off for whatever you want to make it for, like, for packing supplies. And if you have a move-in special, quote the special on the email as well. Again, if you do that, you're great. I mean, the sales call so far, you're going to stand out from everybody else. The entire pack, everyone else are calling. So after you're done with that part, the customer's going to say, most likely, hopefully, it sounds like a great deal. Here's my email address. And then you can kind of follow it up with, great, Becky. Again, work in their name. Again, work in their name as much as possible. And, it sounds like we have a perfect fit for you. Would you like to reserve this unit over the phone? Or does it make sense for you to come down and take a tour of the facility? Again, we would all like to everyone have to just reserve it over the phone, do a $20 reservation, something that kind of, I hate to say keep them on the hook, but if there's money on the line, it's more apt to following through. So if you can tell them to make a reservation or come and take a tour. So they say want a reservation? Great. Shut up and take your reservation money right then, and you got the rental. If they say, oh, I'll come down and check it out. Don't just leave it at that. Try to narrow it down. What time will you be coming down to rent the unit? Try to make them get a specific time. Again, it's accountability. Much more to follow through on showing up. So let's just say they say, I'll come down at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Manager will come back with, that'll be great, Becky. Can I get a contact number for you as well? Again, accountability. You can always call, a couple hours ahead of time and remind them, see you at 4 o'clock. Or if they don't show up, you can call back and do that follow-up as well. Give it the number. Great. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, please look forward to the email I'll be sending to you in a few minutes with that great move-in special. We'll say, great. Thanks a lot. Thanks for calling, Becky, and I will see you tomorrow. That'd be ideal if it all works out that way. And again, I hate saying script, but if you can kind of map out those points that we were discussing here, you're going to be so much better than everybody else. You can kind of quote, get their name, of course, name of your facility. If you can hold off on giving them the price until you've built some value and given them the features and benefits of your facility, give them a price. If you can quote, move-in special, wonderful. If you can get their email as a follow-up, even better. And I'm talking on and on about this, Matt, but as far as, it's just going to stand out so much more from everybody else. What would you do, Matt, just in case they say, okay, great, but they don't confirm they want to come down to rent the unit, or they don't want to reserve over the phone? What would be the step there for you?
Well, if they don't want to reserve over the phone, a lot of people don't. I mean, that's not anything out of the ordinary, because I'll tell you, and honestly, in my own life, I don't typically do that, because I'm always, thinking about, what maybe I won't need it. And if I don't need it, will I be able to get my money back? That kind of stuff is, or I don't want to commit myself. And that's really what it boils down to. So, what you can do is, try to base it on, limited availability. If you do it now, we can reserve it for you. You won't have to worry about it, because, there's certain facilities that I have, for example, that are military areas, or let's say college areas. And when either deployments are coming or when summer vacation's coming, these units go quickly, so we can try to do it that way and try to encourage them to do it. If not, and if they are completely 100% against it, which a lot of people are getting it, because I'm kind of in that camp, unless it's something I need. We just need to do the best. If we've got the follow-up information, the email, the phone number, try to make an appointment for them to at least come down and see the unit. But if they won't even do that, again, you have their contact information. That's why getting some of this information up front is so very important in that way. When we talk about building value, there's values in these sales presentations, and so-called, we're saying, well, deviate a little bit from the script. We're not calling it a script, but there is value in scripts. I mean, if there weren't, the top companies in America wouldn't use them. And our our REIT competitors are using them. They're refining all of this too. As I said, we're getting more corporate now as our industry matures. And there's value in this. And when you're talking, when we all go over, we have all these things we offer. We send them a coupon. We send them a video. All that builds value. And I've said this before a million times, with the Stanford study, 13% of the people are looking for the cheapest thing no matter what it is. 17% will take the highest thing no matter what it is. 70% of the people are looking for something other than what's based on price. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean you can be 50% higher than your competitors. But, when we're talking maybe 5% higher, or something, a couple dollars higher than your competitors, then that value really, really kicks in. And I think that's, your idea is if they're not going to commit, if you can show them as much of value as possible before they get off the phone, you're the one that's going to stick in their mind. And that's really how I view it. The best you can. Because there are certain people that just won't commit, regardless.
Yep. I think if you just have it in mind of just building the value, and again, don't follow his word for word. I would give you homework. Find those facilities that's in your direct market. Call them. Act like a customer. You have to star 6-7 or whatever that is to block a number, so be it. Act like a customer. See what you're up against. Listen to their presentation. Some might be very good and they'll surprise you, and you'll know to step up your game. Because if you're calling a great competitor that's great on the phone and you're kind of lacking on the phone skills, they're leaving rentals on the table. So it's time to really concentrate on your sales skills on the phone. Sharpen that and focus. Again, it doesn't take a whole lot. It's just after a few phone calls and getting comfortable with it, you'll see the boost in your conversion. I'm the perfect example. When I first started in this industry forever ago, I was terrible. I used to get secret shops, I think it was twice a month back when I was doing it. And my first 2 months, terrible. I got terrible scores. But I didn't have the sales mindset. I hate to say training wasn't there, but it wasn't. And I just wasn't really focused. But once I sat down and I just really started listening to my calls, literally, after a few phone calls, done. I was done. Flipped the switch, and I was scored, off the charts from then on out. It's just, it's making that decision that, the phone call is extremely important. How many phone calls you get in the average day? Not a whole lot. I mean, great if you get 10 or 20, but that's not realistic. 3, 4, 5, that's more of our average. Make those calls count. Put the effort in. Practice, and you'll get the rewards and you'll get the rentals, and everybody will be happy.
Well, I want to interject on something you just mentioned there when you were talking about it. If when we talk about training and scripts and things like this, if you're not training your managers, you're leaving them to their own devices. And for some managers, hey, that may not be bad. Some of them may have sales backgrounds and they adapt very quickly. But you'll spend $3.5 million, $4 million, $5 million building a facility, and then you won't spend a couple $1,000s on some sales training or something like that. It makes absolutely no sense, and the reason I bring this up because I know owners like this. Don't be one of those people. If you're talking about it, you're leaving this person that you're paying X number of dollars an hour to manage a multi-million dollar business, and we're not investing. And we really, really need to because the competition's heated up, and we need to get as many rentals as we possibly can.
You got it. That's why that's our motto: dominate your market. So we're trying to give you all the tools you can. It's a little piece of the puzzle. Actually, it's a big piece of the puzzle, but it all comes together. As far as all the sales training we're talking about, presentation, drive-by, it all boils down to dominating your market. And we'll keep this coming up every single week with hopefully it's something you can take away and implement right away and start seeing results.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game.
You got it. Well, I think we'll wrap this one up this week, and we'll chat soon.
Sounds great. Well, you have a great week.
All right. You too. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the 3 Mile Domination Podcast. Please check us out at our website, 3miledomination.com, where you can download our free ebook, connect with us on all the social media platforms, and to subscribe to this podcast. Please spread the word to those you think that will benefit from this show. Just don't tell your competitors. Thanks again.